Yup. You know what it is. Your boy EJ the DJ. Not just only EJ the DJ, I'm an award-winning podcast. You know what it is. Shout out to the SEA Awards. It's in that series of the year. We just having a good time. I got somebody special in the building. Like, he's definitely doing his thing. He's a CEO, entrepreneur. He's a father. He's a friend. He's a traveler. He's all around the world. And I can't express how thankful for him to have him in the building. My boy, Matt Michelson, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, EJ. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you to you for having me on.
No doubt.
I've been hoping for this moment when I met you years ago in Atlanta, and I learned so much from you then as I learned from you now.
Listen, is only right. We're going to grow. You got a lot of great things happening. You back in Atlanta again. Mm-hmm. And you got your company. Talk about your company, because there's a lot going on in Atlanta right now. There's a lot going on in the world. And I'm excited to have him here because it's talking about health, self-defense, things that really matters in life that's important, that can help you. So I want you to break down what your company is and why it's important to people, why they should pay attention to you.
Yeah, thanks, EJ. Appreciate it. So I have a company called Warrior Wellness LLC. We have 4 modules that we focus on. The first is physical wellness through personal training and boot camps. The second component is mindfulness meditation for mind wellness and mind healing.
Yes.
Then there's an outdoor workshop component. And lastly, I do self-defense for small groups, corporate events, people that want to learn how to defend themselves in today's society.
Now, I want to talk about self-defense because I feel like that's so good and it's universal. And I don't care where you at in the world, you need self-defense. And it's not only just self-defense, it's understanding how to think before to react and how to react before you think. Because a lot of times we think self-defense is all about fighting, but it's just how to handle yourself in situations. Explain to the people what is self-defense and why it's so important.
Critically important in today's society. And we always think that in times past that people were kind of just crazy and society was crazy. It seems even worse now. Yeah. And so a lot of times, unfortunately, we may not want to be in these situations, but they may find us. So you hit it right on the head. The very first component, what we teach in our self-defense workshops, is the understanding and awareness of our surroundings, because the best choice is to get on out.
Yes.
If you're in a club, if you're in a location, and if the hair in the back of your neck starts to go up, your natural self-defense mechanisms are giving you notice to be smart about this.
To get out the way.
And to care about yourself, care about the ones you love. This is not like Hollywood. Yes. It ain't the movies. Nobody's going to John Wick their way out of the situation, right? It could be a huge problem with law enforcement and the work that you need to do the next morning and not hurting yourself. So the first thing is by far is being aware of situation and choosing to avoid if doable. If, however, self-defense is the only option that you have available to you, we give our participants the tools, and basically easy-to-use tools that are easily recallable, nothing complex. We're not jumping, spinning kicks in the air. Yeah. These are things they learn in a skirt, in a dress, in jeans, in boots, whether they're carrying a purse or a pizza, don't matter. They don't need any flexibility, no athletic ability, but if they have to defend themselves, how do I use these skills against an attacker and then get the heck out of there and get back to my family?
Nah, I love that. You don't got to explain all your skills. What's one main skill or one skill that you tell people that they have to learn when you're coming to learn from you?
The first one is what I would call a ready stance. A ready stance is that let's say you and I are in an elevator and somebody comes in and they've had a lot to drink or something even worse, and there's a situation. The first thing that we need to defend ourselves. And so even while holding the microphone, it's basically falling into a stance where the hands are up and open, not holding any weapons. My elbows are down, my hands are up, and you almost create this cage of self-defense with a basic stance of 1 foot forward and 1 foot back to provide a defensive posture so that if something is launched at you without warning, you can defend yourself. And this is very important and critical. If in a court of law or in a civil case later on, somebody says, well, who is the aggressor? Clearly, when they take this stance and they announce, leave me alone. It wasn't my beer. I really apologize. I didn't realize it was your stool, whatever the case. You are not the aggressor. You identify immediately as somebody who is being aggressed against. And then people will say, well, the gentleman in orange put his hands up. He said he didn't want any part of this. And the other guy was the one that threw the punch. critically important the first very few moments of what occurs.
Now that's important because Georgia is a self-defense state, and a lot of states is like that. So is Florida and a few other states. And if you don't know these laws and you don't understand what to do, you will fall victim to the other side. You think you're defending yourself, but you're really not. So this is why you got to go to the gentleman right now. Like Matt is important to go to because he's going to teach you these things. This is important because a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to fight, and fighting could lead to the wrong situations, and that's never good. So,
and it's just not adults either. So we also teach children. We teach children. We teach families. And on my Insta page, I have a series of videos. Every year, I do an annual workshop called the Gashuku. We go out, we train self-defense, we do physical fitness. So I've got videos on there right now of young women breaking 3/4-inch white pine boards with a knee or these are not martial arts. These are people that have trained and just learned over years that if they have to defend themselves, they have the power, they have the strength. They're nice people. They don't want any trouble. But if trouble is forcing their hand, then they don't have to be a victim.
How did you learn this?
So I started in the martial arts when I was 9 years old. I learned many years ago, and then I was in the military for many years. And, you know, the military is very focused on learning how to have the soldiers be strong and be able to be resilient.
For sure.
But I grew up doing this, and then when I went into school and stuff, there were many women who, especially when the soldiers, you know, a lot of the women spouses of the military, when the soldiers would deploy back in the wars, and even the current ones, and the spouses were left on base by themselves. There was lots of trepidation on, hey, I'm concerned. So how could they get empowered? Well, we began to empower them with these workshops, these self-defense workshops, and it became very common, very popular.
I definitely love that. You was overseas as well, like in wars and everything, correct?
I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, yes.
How was that?
Difficult.
Because the reason why I'm asking that is because the United States right now was going back and forth with Iran, and they keep saying that the terrain over there is really like different than the terrain in the United States. Can you describe that, like the terrain, the area of Iran?
It's very difficult, and as a retired Army officer, I would tell you tremendous appreciation and props to the soldiers, airmen, Marine, Coast Guardsmen, and women who are out there fighting right now. And the families that are home supporting because somebody's got to mow the lawn, somebody's got to be a mom and a dad, right? Very difficult. But specific to your question, the terrain can be very problematic. The soldiers and the folks in uniform do a wonderful job training as best they can in home stations before where they go to try and mimic and be as similar as possible. But until you're on the ground, you can't really replicate whether it's an urban environment with streets you don't know, whether it's terrain or it's high elevations or there's a desert environment. So it can be extremely complex in getting the job done.
No, that's definitely interesting. Like you definitely have been around for a while, especially with your experience. What are you willing to teach people? Because I want people to really understand what your business entails because it's also with mental health as well. Let's talk about mental health. First of all, how was your mental health?
My mental health is good. Right, I wouldn't say great because I'm as human as everybody else.
Yes, sir.
Right, and I've gone through three. And this is what kind of brought me to this whole topic was I was in the gym all my life. I was a very physical person, and my education was in the physical realm. But through the martial arts, I began to learn a lot more to internal resiliency about learning about your mind and what your mind can do for you. So at Warrior Wellness LLC, one of our 4 modules is the mind module that is specifically geared towards teaching mindful meditation and giving people the tools that they could use to develop the ability to not just survive life, but learn to thrive in life, no matter what they've gone through or what they may go through. Because we all carry that ash and trash. Everything we've gone through in life, every experience we've gone through in life has impacted upon our brains and our body. The body keeps the score. And a lot of times, even the folks that, you know, in the age bracket and, you know, they're in their 30s or 40s or 20s, but they've got things from their childhood that may have created what may have been like a mental dent in the mindset, in the psyche. And it could create triggers later on in life. And sometimes people won't understand why they're so upset. They won't understand why they're not sleeping well, why they're having skin issues, why they're having constant stomach upset. And the mindful meditation gives them an opportunity to learn the tools to be present in the current moment purposefully without judgment.
Now, that's really important, right? Because I hear a lot of people go through things they don't know what they're going through, and it be a lot of childhood trauma. You know, a lot of people go through childhood trauma, and they don't have no way to heal from that. So how can somebody get healing from that or learn from like you said? Because a lot of people, they had that burden with them of being an adult, the things that happened to them when they was a kid. How do they get rid of that? Is that a way can you get rid of that?
Well, I wouldn't say so much getting rid of it. I would say learning to dance with it.
Okay.
Learning to dine with it. One of the misunderstandings about meditation is that people will say, well, I want to stop thinking. I want to stop my mind. I don't want to think as much or think about these things. And that which we resist will persist. So if there is a negative thought ongoing, and oftentimes it'll be a thought that's creating an emotion that relates to a physical sensation. So they have a bad thought. It makes them upset. They get stomach upset. And this is the spiral that will consume them. And the more that they wish it going away, the tougher it becomes. And so in mindful meditation, we begin to understand that, think about it like this. If we hurt our knees in high school or we tore a shoulder in high school, as we age into later adulthood, that shoulder could ache. Yes, and it would ache involuntarily. We're not asking our shoulder to hurt that day when it rains outside. The brain's the same way. And so the brain's thought process is an involuntary, automatic process. You don't think to yourself, I want to think about that bad job interview I messed up. It'll just pop in. And understanding the narrative of the brain and being able to become the observer of your thoughts, you no longer get consumed by them. So when a bad thought arises, you say, I know that thought. I know that thought. Well, I know why it upsets me. You've been there, you've done that, and you can befriend it and move on with your life.
I know a lot of y'all tuned in right now trying to figure out, like, what's going on. Why me? It happens a lot. And that's why I want to tell y'all, like, this is the man right here to learn from, because he might be in Virginia, but he got an email, he got a website, and we're going to learn tonight because this is really good steps to help. I really want him to learn, because we had a great conversation behind the scenes and he told me a lot. We've been learning. So I definitely want to make sure that y'all understanding what he's doing and why he's here, because this is about getting help and understanding who you are, especially with everything that he have going on with the mental health, definitely self-defense. He got a lot of other things going on, and I definitely want to expound on each one that he's talking about so y'all can understand and learn, because this is the platform to learn from. So so you do meditation. Let's talk about meditation, because I feel like that's really big. How can men tap into meditation? Because I know a lot of females do the yoga, a lot of females tap into that hot yoga, but I don't hear a lot of men talking about meditation. How can men get into more meditation?
Well, a lot of times it's overcomplicated. Some folks be like, look, I ain't got 45 minutes to sit on a mountaintop and become one with nature. And I get that. And I'll tell you, the only Zen you find at the top of the mountaintop is the Zen you brought with you. And to answer your question directly, start just like you go into the gym. When you go to the gym first time, you don't go bench and squat and do a 3-hour workout. You do a little tiny workout and see how sore you are, and you learn from it. Meditation's the same way. Here's a great example. Mindful eating is a tenet of the mindfulness program. So a lot of times, if you go to I came from the airport today. People are eating and they're on their phones. They're checking stuff out. They're thinking about 2 days ago. They're on their phone. They're scrolling. They don't even taste their food. So one method of meditation, and meditation is not about humming and necessarily, it's about being present in the current moment, purposefully, without judgment. It's knowing where you are and what you are doing, and not having to like or dislike any part of it. So the next time you have a meal, right? Well, even if it's a candy bar in the car or it's an actual meal, sit for a moment and know where you are. Feel your bottom in the chair. Feel the temperature of the air. Now, it takes discipline, just like going to the gym.
For sure.
But pausing for a few minutes, and then does the food have a particular smell? What is its temperature? What is its texture? What does it taste like? And this is the real catalyst. If it was the last meal you were ever going to have,
you want to remember it.
How would you eat it? You would take your time, right? And so when we slow down like that, that signals to the body, and this is when the mind and body come together. You hear about this fight or flight reaction in people.
I hear that a lot.
The fight or flight reaction comes from the amygdala at the top of the brain stem, through the vagus nerve, down the nerves in the body. When you sit like that with a meal, you are signaling to your body, I am safe. I am not in danger. It's okay to enjoy this meal. And guess what? Digestion gets better, sleep gets better, cortisol, the stress hormone goes down, good brain chemicals go up. All good.
I never realized that. That's interesting because I'm learning something new as we talk too, and it's very interesting. I never realized it how you say it, because most of the time when I know I'm eating, I'm not even paying attention to eating. I know I'm eating good food, but I'm so busy probably on my phone or watching something else. I'm enjoying that more than I'm actually enjoying the food.
Yep.
Unless and this weekend when I went fishing was the first time I actually had a chance to just sit down and enjoy my meal, because I didn't have a TV. Well, I did have a TV in the hotel room, but I'm not really a TV person, so I don't really watch like TV like that. So I was able to eat my food and really relax. And now that you say that, this was the first time that I actually did that in a long time, to really enjoy my meal. Because I just went fishing and all I had was fish.
and there are other opportunities people can do. They're called mindful moments.
Okay.
So if they're in their car and they're in traffic, and I don't want people to close their eyes and meditate in traffic.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
But take a moment and realize what can I see? And a lot of times this is a good drill. So we have 8 awarenesses available to us at any moment. What do I see right now? What's one thing I could see?
Okay.
What's one thing I could smell? What's one thing I can taste? This is a grounding exercise. This grounding exercise puts you back where you are, not where you're thinking you were or wanted to fix yesterday's discussion with so-and-so or worrying about the future. It keeps you in the present. It makes your life more vivid. And again, it sends the body those messages that I am safe and I am paying attention on purpose. And the criticality is without judgment. We're brought up with judgment.
Yes, we are, for sure.
We're brought up in school and you're too heavy and you can't do that and you're not a good math student or you're not right this way. All these judgments we get, we begin to self-judge.
Yes.
Many people are their own worst critic.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it becomes a lot of negative self-talk. And that negative self-talk, and that's why Bruce Lee said, never talk negatively to yourself, not even for a moment. That's why they call it spelling, because it almost casts a spell that, you know what, I can never do anything right. And then you say, hey, man, you going for that job interview? Well, why would I even go? I'm not going to get it. Well, why would you talk that to yourself?
You absolutely, listen, your tongue, your mouth, your words, all spells. He's absolutely right. So if you believe you can't, you can't. If you believe you can, you can. So it's all about the spells and your mindset. So you got to believe 100% wholeheartedly. So you got to believe in yourself. That's the first step. Believe in yourself. I don't care how hard it get. I don't care where you going to. Wake up, look at the mirror, and say you could do it. A matter of fact, I'm going to challenge everybody that's tuned in right now. Wake up every morning and say you are the best for 30 days straight. And then let me know the 31st day, how do you feel? Because that's really important, for real. And I just really want to get that out there, because I feel like a lot of people fail to realize how hard they can be or how hard they don't go. Because a lot of people don't go that hard. They don't go that hard.
No, they don't. I'll tell you what, another great question is, how would they respond to a friend? Because they'll be super critical to themselves. But if their friend is going through something hard, they'll be awesome for their friend. So, hey, speak to yourself as you would speak to your best friend.
Yes.
How would you speak to somebody? If you had a good friend going through trouble, how would you speak to them? How would you care for them?
That's super
Do
important.
that with yourself. Start caring for yourself and realize that a lot of this negative self-talk is just conditioned mind chatter from when you were 10 or 18 or 32, or from that previous boss or that ex-girlfriend. All that stuff is just mental clutter, just messing up your day.
Yo, and that's why I say mental clutter is serious. This is June. This is mental health month. So if you got a male friend, check on them. Make sure that's important. Check on them, see what's going on. I encourage everybody to get a hobby. Do something with yourself. You know, my vice is fishing. That's my outlet. I was able to go fishing for 3 days, and I really enjoyed myself, and that gave me a chance to relax. That's why I probably got a little tan right now, but I was really in the sun. I was having a good time, and I tell people, really find that vice. Like, really find something that you could identify with that keeps you going. Because if you don't, I ain't gonna lie, we live in a tough world, and it's just a reality, and it's not easy, but you can't give up on yourself. That's really important. What advice would you give somebody that don't see the signs? Like what's some ways that they can identify it? Or let's say somebody is going through it, but they have a friend that really don't understand what they're going through. How could they pick up on the signs if their friend don't even know that they're going through it?
So there are some common signs. A lot of times, isolation.
Okay.
They'll pull away. They'll be less communicative. They won't be in gatherings. They'll kind of fall off the radar, and they'll be strange. They'll be unusual for them. A lot of times, lack of appetite. And you said it really critically before, lack of interest.
Lack of
interest.
Yeah.
The Japanese have a term, it's called ikigai. Ikigai. And ikigai is your purpose in life. Whether it's your kids or it's your painting, what brings you joy, what makes you feel good, what would you do for no money at all, right? What would you do all the time because it just gives you that joy on this planet? And these are the things that recharge your batteries. But when you see people, a lot of times they will withdraw and they will get isolated. And then when you see them in person, they'll kind of have that 1,000-yard stare. And you can't tell, are they looking into the past or they're worried about something? Yeah. We worry so much. We worry about things that haven't even happened yet. Yeah. We create our own stress.
We definitely do.
It's not necessarily the situation at hand. It's our interpretation of the situation, right? And so all that narrative. But when you see that happening, if you've got a friend, if you've got anybody out there that is not acting themselves, that is not who you know they are to be, it's ask those tough questions. Be that friend that really, and don't take the I'm fine, or I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm chill. Come on, we know you better than that.
Know you better than that.
And we got to get past the stigma, especially with the men. We got to get past the stigma that you can't talk about it, or you're weak if you talk about it. Let me tell you something. We are all human.
Yes, we are.
All human. And the strongest of us all are human enough and strong enough and brave enough to say if they're having a problem. If you had a friend who had blood sugar issues, was diabetic, pre-diabetic, critical in our society today.
Yes.
You'd be like, dude, go get on insulin.
For sure.
Go get medicine for your sugar issues.
Yes, that's important.
On the mental side, we want to be just as effortful in saying, dude, you need to go take care of yourself.
Yes.
Right? Go, because a drowning person cannot save themselves.
They cannot at all.
They cannot self-rescue. So we got to take care of each other. It's a tough time out there.
Yeah.
And when people are going through that and they show those signs, when you know when something's off.
No, for sure. You definitely could tell.
Then we jump in there and we all help each other out.
So how can we help more men? Because, being that it's June, a lot of men don't communicate well with other men. A lot of men always hiding stuff. We have so much going on within ourselves that we don't even talk enough. How can we make it a safe space for men to communicate better, talk better, learn better? Because I feel like that's so important.
So I was military from age 17 to 41.
Okay.
Right. And in the military, you're taught to be understandably very strong and you're mission focused and there's no room for weakness. But in mindfulness meditation and as a part of humanity, we all got to drop the ego. We can be prideful and care about our work and care about ourselves and those things. But I think a lot of times the ego gets involved and there's a requirement for validation. You see guys in the gym, his biceps, his back size, his leg. It's always comparative. People have to be confident in themselves and they have to be willing to let the ego down and realize that everybody's here to learn.
Yes.
We're all trying to help each other.
For sure.
And, a rising tide raises all boats. Right?
Yes.
So I think, and I see that with men a lot. I do have a lot of women that come to the meditation workshops. I wish I saw more men. Because a lot of times men will be like, I'm just going to rub dirt and I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's, I definitely want to do something with more men because I think that's so important because salute to the men that's going through it right now, but keeping the head above water. Like you said, rising tide raises all boats. I definitely believe that. So it's always good to help one. So if you see somebody, fellas, see somebody that's going through something, it's okay to uplift them up. That's really important because we need that in society nowadays, especially with everything going on. I'm gonna keep saying it. June is mental health awareness, especially for men. It's men mental health awareness month. So I think it's really important to pay attention to what's going on and talk. If you're going through something, man, reach out to somebody because it's really, really important right now because there's so much going on. The economy is not good. So don't think it's only you. It's everybody. It's everybody. You're going through it. So just always understand that, with the rising gas prices, it's so much to deal with. Have you ever had a friend that you had to get out the mud that was in a dark space that you had to rescue and get out?
Absolutely.
And how did you handle it?
Being open and empathetic and compassionate.
I just learned that myself. I was never really compassionate myself. and empathetic.
Or to yourself.
No, just in general. I never understood it.
But it is a superpower.
It is.
Because again, we're all going through things. This particular friend that I had a lot of trauma in his life. And he buried it down and buried it down. And the older that he got, the worse it got.
Wow.
It began to affect his marriage. It began to affect his work. He couldn't sleep well. He knew he was ill, but he couldn't put his finger on it.
Wow.
Right. So we were in some meditation work together, and we had an opportunity. And I said, hey, man, just lay it all out there. This is a non-judgment zone.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody's going to be called untough or uncool or unmanly. And then once one guy starts to share, and he did, everybody's got something. Right. And that's where the bravery comes in. The bravery in acknowledging and understanding what you went through, and the understanding that it can impact your mind and impact your psyche.
Okay.
And that you're going to have to eventually figure out a way to understand it and allow it. Allowing it is so critical, right?
Yes.
It's allowing what's going on because it's there anyway.
Yes, they
right?
did.
And he's thriving today because he faced his demons.
That's the blessing.
And he gave a name to them. He said, well, this is regret, and this is trauma, and this is fear. And fear.
Oh, bad fear.
Fear is a huge one.
Fear is a huge one.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna lie. I went through a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And I just realized how to overcome it.
Yeah.
And my thing is looking in the mirror no matter what and say, I'm going to do it no matter what, and believing in myself, because fear will talk you out of everything. Fear is your worst enemy. Like, fear is your worst enemy. If you don't know how to achieve it, I'd say you go in the mirror and talk to yourself. Look in the mirror every day when you're brushing your teeth, when you're washing your face, you're in that shower, you take a break. And anytime you go to the bathroom, say, I could do it, I will do it, I am the best. Keep pushing that in your mind, because fear, I ain't gonna lie, you gotta have the faith of a mustard seed. You know how small a mustard seed is? I have faith, and it could grow. It could grow if you have faith. And I tell people that all the time. You gotta believe, because fear, oh boy, because I some days I didn't believe I could get here. I didn't believe at one time.
It can be paralyzing.
Yeah, it can be paralyzing.
Absolutely.
And the more I didn't believe, the more I didn't achieve. And the more I did believe, the more I see I could achieve.
Yeah. But it's such an important note is that fear is as natural human emotion.
Yes.
As is joy, as is shame.
Yes.
They're all on a continuum, right?
Yes.
And it's not that, and we talked about men again, it's not that men are not designed to only have strength. It takes a true warrior, if you will, a true man,
Yes.
to acknowledge when they got something going on, right? And to ask for help. And then when they get that help and they have gone through that fire, they come out the other side.
Yes.
Now they are a different person, and they can be much better for themselves and their families.
Man, listen, I'm excited, because what you're saying it makes a lot of sense, and your business is definitely growing. How long you gonna be in Atlanta for?
I'm just here till Sunday.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of actually one of the other modules, the outdoor module. There's the worldwide show going on at the Cobb Galleria. So I'll be there with a camping tool that I've designed to help folks get outside safely.
Okay.
Be outside, get some sunshine,
Dope.
get some fresh air.
That's important.
Get some other wellness activities in regards to the outside. But I'll head back to DC on Sunday.
Okay.
But again, on my Insta, I'm known as the Zenful Guy.
The Zenful Guy.
On Insta. And on my Insta, they'll see martial arts, they'll see meditation, they'll see outdoors, they'll see mindfulness stuff. There'll be a lot of snippets about little mindful morsels they could take with them in their day, right?
Yes.
Whether it's taking 5 minutes to understand where you are, your awareness, groundings, mindful eating, ways to tell your body and mind, it's cool, I'm safe, I'm not still in that trauma I had when I was 19.
See, that's important. I want to talk about the camping tool you just made. What's that about?
So I'm excited about this.
Okay.
With my last name being Michelson, years ago I designed a camping tool and outdoor knife. It's called the Michelson Survival Bowie. It's called the MSB. It's being manufactured by Battle Horse Knives out of Cambridge, Ohio.
Okay.
It's coming out in a couple of months, and it's a custom made knife. But it's purposely meant to, it's kind of that one tool only option in the field.
Okay.
But being in the military as many years as I was, I used many tools. Some worked well, some didn't work well.
Got you.
This is the best of all the tools that worked for me.
Okay.
Over the years.
That's fair.
And so, kind of that ikigai idea. I said, you know what, I want to write this down. I want to draw this out. So I drew it out, and some folks liked it. It got field tested. Actually, let me give some public thanks to Kevin Estella and Subtle Serpent Survival, who did 2 months of field testing the MSB in North Carolina and Tennessee, and they put this thing through the ringer. And Kevin Estella and Subtle Serpent were just fantastic supporters, great people. They'll be at the show also with their own products and their own their own tools and things. But just like, you helping me now,
no doubt,
you always being there for me, those guys being there for me. Again, a rising tide raises all boats. And on the mindfulness side, if I can help anybody settle, get more grounded, find some self-compassion, and realize that no matter what they got going on, as long as you're breathing, there's always more right with you than wrong with you.
I love that.
Right? As long as you're breathing, doesn't matter what you're going through. Because right now, our internal organs are digesting food. They're screening our blood. Our lungs are working. Our hearts are pumping.
Amen.
Our entire body is a miracle. And that's one more superpower I want to offer everybody out and your listeners is do their best to start practicing gratitude.
That's important.
When you wake up in the morning, before we go on our phones, and then we start getting blinded by all that stuff, the sun is still shining. My lungs are working. I got a million things. I got a million blessings in my favor. It's positive self-talk. It's uplifting. It's compassionate. And it just starts your day in a new way. And like going in the gym, the more repetitions you do, the easier they get, the stronger you get. The mind is exactly the same way. When you begin to see things through gratitude, right? When you begin to see things through the blessings that we all have, you begin to filter things differently. You're happier, you're healthier, you're understanding things more. And then people will gravitate to you for being that way.
Listen, that's so important that you gotta be this way and understand what he's saying, because gratitude is really, really important. Like, that's really, really important. You have a lot of great things going on. I want to talk about the females in learning self-defense. Give me some tips. You don't got to go into too much details, but what's some tips that females can learn from you and children as well, as far as for self-defense?
The first thing I want to recommend is situational awareness, right? A lot of times folks will unfortunately find themselves in a situation that perhaps could have been avoided. They went shopping late at night. They got the kids. They got a lot of things, a lot of burdens and responsibilities. They're out shopping late at night and they park really far away and the parking lot is dark. And as soon as they come out, they'll get that human sense of, oh man, this just feels scary, right? Make the smart decision. Listen to your instincts and avoid situations that can be potentially problematic. Right? Especially if there's tough places, if there's things going on in the city, if you look at if there's a threat on TikTok or something on the news, if that area can be avoided, all the more reason to avoid what might already be a volatile situation. After situational awareness and keeping themselves safe, learning some basic self-defense moves that anybody could do. Nothing in the movies. We're not jumping high kicks. We're not fighting tigers today. But learning some very basic moves that are easy to learn, easy to perform, and practice them in a workshop environment. Then they can be recallable under duress. But none of us are superhuman. We want to go back to the people that we love and care about. And so we have to be smart and understanding. A lot of times, these can be very challenging situations, and it's better to learn something now than it is, I wish I had taken that workshop after the fact.
Could people take it online, or it had to be in person?
Currently, I run them in person in Virginia, Northern Virginia, the DC area. I do travel. I've given them in Indiana, Texas, Okinawa, Japan, Guam. I've given them all over the world, actually, in all the years that I've trained martial arts and taught this. But I'd be interested. Anybody that wants to reach out, please reach out directly, and we'll work something out. I also do them by Zoom as well. So that I do them virtually.
Okay, that's good then. Right? That's a good thing.
Do them virtually because people's travel schedules, and man, I would love to get there, but I am in DC.
Got you.
If somebody's passionate about learning, I'll be passionate about meeting them and finding a way.
I like that. How's your take on AI right now?
In regards to
how are you using AI to further your business, if you're using it?
I'm not using it yet.
Okay.
I have been exploring on the personal training side.
Yes.
There are a tremendous amount of AI tools already that people are using, and some are very beneficial and some can be very helpful for folks.
Okay.
I do want folks to have a I enjoy a personal connection with my clients.
I like that.
Because when I train in front with my clients, I can immediately tell have they not slept well,
Yeah.
their marriage is in trouble, because you can tell the repetitions are different.
Yes.
Right? And there are tools to be used, and I'll consider them in the future. But at present, I am mostly an in-person or at least via Zoom trainer because I like the human connection.
I like that.
I want to be sharing in their experience.
Yeah.
It's their program, and as I often tell them when they say, "Oh, that was a really great session, Matt," I say, "I'm just holding up the mirror. It's all you, all you.
That's all you.
It's all your potential coming to fruition. And every single rep, every single meditation, every single outdoor workshop, it's all getting people to their best self."
I love that. Yeah. See, that's so important because I like to ask questions about AI right now because so much been happening. Mm-hmm. But what you're saying is real because the personal interaction is really more important because sometimes people get caught up with the AI and get caught up with the source, but it's really important to hear that again because everybody focuses on just AI. But like you said, personal connection. So that means he's a real person. Empathy, all that's being shown with the people. If it was something that you want somebody to learn from the conversation today, what would it be?
It would be to befriend your own mind. Befriend your own mind.
Befriend your own mind.
The mind is silent, meaning that we see our bodies. We can tell if we're in shape, out of shape, if we haven't slept. The mind is much harder to understand.
It
right?
is.
And because we're carrying it around all the time, sometimes folks have this fear about, I can't get out of my own mind. Let me be very clear. Your mind is a conditioned organ that has learned from the inputs it's gotten your entire life.
Yes.
All the fears, all the traumas, all the joys, it's all created a map, like streets, in your mind. And so when things come up, they are involuntary. You should befriend them and realize if you have negative thoughts, it's not your fault. Nobody's going through the day saying, I'm going to be depressed at 11:36. It doesn't happen that way.
Doesn't happen that way, you're right.
These things just come to us.
Yes.
And when there's befriending ourselves, being compassionate, and realizing that as long as we're breathing, there's more right with us than wrong with us. And there's always blessings to be grateful for.
Yeah.
We can settle in them. We can all join hands, and everybody together will have a mindful meal, go for a mindful walk, and everyone will begin to understand that it's going to be okay.
Man, I definitely love that. What is something you had to unlearn to be successful?
Ego.
I like that.
Ego.
Yeah.
Oh, ego will mess you up. Ego will mess you up because, well, he didn't talk to me right, or I was better than that kid. Ego. You prepare as best you can, then life happens.
Yeah.
Then life happens, right? And so we've got to do our best and be thankful and be grateful and be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself, but be wary of the ego in making you tell yourself or anybody else what I deserve, what I didn't get. No, you're a prime example.
Yeah.
Not about ego. You're the opposite of ego. When I met you in Atlanta some years ago, I couldn't. He ain't paying me nothing to say this. I was amazed at you were so authentic.
Thank you.
You could smell fake a million miles away.
All the time.
Right? And so there's so many people out there that are holding up this facade of what's going on. You were the opposite of ego. You're like, man, we had a chat. You gave me great advice about starting my company, about getting my community going. And you were just an unbelievable positive force that day I met you. That's why I've stayed in touch. Yeah. Oh, by the way, congrats again on 16,000 plus.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
I mean, Internet Series of the Year. Unbelievable.
Thank you.
But you haven't obtained that because you've been, beating down people and making fun of people. No, you obtained that because you work hard, you believe in yourself, you put yourself out there, and people gravitate to that, and they'll continue to do so.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy that I can help you because sometimes, I talk to myself a lot in the mirror. I tell myself I can do it, and there've been days where I done failed so many times. I done failed more times than I actually have won. But a lot of people would think that I'm always having a winning streak. But I just learned how to mask it because I don't believe in failure. I believe in lessons. And I believe that every time you don't get what you want, you learn how to do it. Because like Albert Einstein said, it took him. They say he fell 99 times. No, he found 99 ways it didn't work. So if you look at it as failure, it will be failure. So I got to figure out what works and don't work. And I'm okay with not making it right the first time, but I'm going to get the jump shot. I'm going to hit the mark sooner or later. It's just going to take me a little more time, but I'm going to learn. So I don't feel like failure is real. I feel like you learn from it. And lessons in life is about learning. And if you don't learn from the things that you don't get right, I don't think you're going to learn at all. So just understand that, people. Like, I just want people to learn, because I'm really happy to see you here, that you got your company to going, and it's happening, because this is proof that, believing in yourself could actually work. And I didn't do nothing. I just gave you a message and you did the rest. So that's all on you. This is all you.
It was great. I'm so excited about the future of what you're going to do. I've been watching you from DC.
Thank you.
Your subscribers are exploding.
Yes.
All of your content is it's down to earth, man. It's down to earth. It connects with people. People enjoy it.
That's the
goal. It crosses all strata of people.
Yes.
And that's why when I was coming out to Atlanta, I sent you the note. I said, Ham, do you have 5 minutes? Can I say hi? Can I just say hello?
For sure.
You've been doing great, but it's a challenging world out there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a challenging world, and that's why with Warrior Wellness, the company is designed so that, and you don't got to be nobody's got to be in perfect. Nobody's ever going to be in perfect shape, or it's a facade. Just be the best you. Try and eat better. We were talking earlier about what to eat.
Yes,
because fast food is
horrible.
Is high in sugar, high in fat, high in the bad fats.
And the funny part, one morning I was out early and I wanted to get something to eat, and I looked at the calories on like a sandwich. It was like 1,800 calories early in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just starting your day with 1,800 calories?
And probably 900 milligrams of salt.
And not, it was more than that. It was about maybe 1,100. So for me, I got in the habit of eating fruits. Shout out to Nande Noon. If you in the area, Nande Noon, they have some fresh fruits, and I like going in there because it's a farmer's market. And I get a fruit bowl, and they have pineapples, they have cantaloupe, they have mangoes, they have strawberries, they have blueberries, and they got pineapples. Most importantly, and pineapples help with the digestion. So I just feel like, I eat that every morning. Every other morning, I try to get a fruit bowl and keep my energy going. Sleeping better, because like that's really important. What's some other things that people can eat that keep them going? Because I feel like eating is important.
Eating is tremendously important, and a lot of the female clients that I have in the personal training sessions could eat better.
Yes.
Meaning that sometimes, I'm going to eat less to lose weight. No, the body's a machine. The body's like a wood burning stove. The body has to be fed nutrition,
for sure,
but as cleanly as possible. It doesn't got to be expensive, right? Water, vegetables, basic salads, lean meats, chicken, turkey, seafood. It doesn't got to be like real expensive seafood. Sardines, mackerel, salmon, even the canned stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the closer it is to the earth, the better it is for you. The further it is away,
that makes sense.
Most often, not as good for you. And let's talk about soups and salads for a second, because a lot of times, some folks I'll just have salad, right? If you can see through the dressing, it's better. Right. So, vinaigrette or a see-through dressing versus like a blue cheese. And I'm not trying to, if people like blue cheese. And here's another thing. Don't deny yourself. It's okay to have these things in moderation. Every once in a while, right?
Yes.
Just don't have 10 of them.
Yes.
But with soups, it's the same thing, right? So the thicker the harder it is to see through, usually the more fat and salt is in. But eat closer to things that are closer to the earth, whether it's a meat, a veggie, a water. The fruits are fantastic.
Okay.
But also, under the concept, really important to stress is it's called grazing. Okay. So eat smaller meals more often throughout the day, so the blood sugar doesn't spike and drop and spike and drop.
Gotcha.
Right? But eat small meals till only you're about 80% full or even less. So really 4, 5, 6 meals throughout the day. You'll be less hungry more often.
Okay.
You won't be having these cravings.
Yes.
And then you won't be hitting, Taco Bell at 11:30.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which keeps you up because you don't sleep well.
Oh man,
which is not good for your system. Which makes you horribly thirsty. But just taking time and then going, and also an important one for the men too, going to get a medical checkup.
Please, fellas, that's important.
Go on a medical checkup, because you also, all of us have, as if you're adopted, you may not know, But if you could know what your genetic history is, whether it's pre-diabetes, heart disease, whether, issues in your family tree on both sides, to know at least what your genetic mapping is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff comes to visit us in our 30s and 40s. Also, what do you mean I got high blood pressure? Well, your dad had it, your mom had it. So knowing your genetic history and then going for your physicals as best you can, at least to get your blood checked, get your blood pressure checked, the silent killer.
Yeah.
Blood pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Find out what your sugars are. So if you have to make some gentle adjustments, you could have longevity in your life and have the energy to thrive.
Man, that's super important, man. See, this is why it's important to have conversations like this, right? Because I want y'all to learn something. Fellas, I want y'all to learn. Females, something to learn. We all to learn. We all here to learn. This is why it's conversations with EJ the DJ, because we just conversating and we just learning, because this is important. And because sometimes y'all don't hear this on a day-to-day basis. There's so much other stuff that's going on, and we forget to realize the important things: eating healthy, taking care of ourselves, mental health, self-defense. These things are very important. He also creating a tool that can help you, a knife that can help you outside. If you're into camping or going outside, I know some of y'all like hiking in Georgia. Hiking is really popular. Fishing is really popular. I'm gonna give me a knife because I'm more efficient. I always need a good knife when I'm fishing. I like fishing in freshwater as well. And sometimes with freshwater, I be in the woods sometimes and in deep places. I want to make sure that I'm protected at all times when it comes to fishing, because I like to catch and cook.
And you do some cooking too. I saw that. I saw those videos. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Fantastic. Good stuff right there.
Listen, if you ever get a chance to go to fishing in Florida, Oskaloosa, that pier is amazing. All kind of fish goes through there. I caught some blue runners. They call hardtails. I caught some Spanish mackerel. I caught some Kroger.
How many did you catch?
I caught about 50, 60 fish.
50, 60 fish?
Yeah, honestly. And then I caught some red snappers. The red snappers was actually good, right? I caught maybe 20, 25 red snappers. Yeah. I only can keep 10. So it's
Did
different.
you have like a community fish fry or something? Did we miss an event?
No, we working on that now. I'm starting a fishing community in here in Georgia. We're gonna do it locally. I just hit people up and told people about it. I just thought about that today and I just acted on it. So we're gonna have some information about that. I'm gonna start over a local lake that I go to. We're gonna have not meetings, but we're gonna meet up and go fish there. Then we're gonna start traveling, like traveling wise. And the reason why I want to do that is because I realized I went on a boat, and the boat it was like maybe about 50 to 60 people on the boat. And it's better if I'd have chartered my own boat for like $600. It'd have been less people, and I'd have more fishing range. So I'd rather get a group of people that like to fish, and we could go out and charter boats. It'll be cheaper that way. And we could travel, and we could have a travel club where we could go fishing and have more fun. It'll be cheaper that way.
And on the wellness side, it's socialization.
Yes.
It's camaraderie.
Yes.
You're sharing stories. You're taking care of each other. You're having a good time. You're out in the sun. You're out in the surf. You're with nature. I mean, talk about warrior wellness. That's what it's about.
And you definitely been growing. You're inspiration. Let everybody know where to find you at, because that's first and foremost. We gotta know where to find you at, because I want people to be able to call in, tune in, and dial in with you as well. If you're not in the DC, in the Virginia area, you could definitely do a Zoom with him as well. He's in Atlanta. Definitely catch him. Before we go there, how was Japan? I know you make a lot of references to Japan. How was your Japan?
Oh, it was fantastic.
I want to go there so bad.
It was beautiful. So I was actually in Okinawa with the military some years ago. Then I was back in the mainland of Japan in 2023. Yes. I was visiting the Honbu dojo of the Shotokan style that I trained in Hachioji, Japan. Okay. But went to a number of places. It's a beautiful, gorgeous land. Gotcha. And I really enjoy the culture because from a mindfulness meditation perspective, everything in the culture is based around full humanity. Okay. And grounding and centering and being one with the presence of what's going on, being in the present moment. It's a wonderful place to go see.
Listen, it's only right, man. This is why he's here. We just networking and we growing. I want everybody. Yeah, so I hear you talk a lot about Japan. How was Japan?
Oh, Japan was beautiful. Okay. I was there with the military some years ago in Okinawa, but I went back to mainland Japan in 2023. Dope. It's an absolutely gorgeous place. It's the birthplace of Shotokan Karate, where I began training. Okay. We spent time in Hachioji at the Honbu Dojo training. really brought me back to my roots, back to 1979, actually, when I started training.
Gotcha.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful land, and it's a wonderful people, wonderful culture. And if anybody ever has the opportunity, jump at it.
How long was that training?
Oh, so my training?
Yes.
So I started training in Japanese martial arts in 1979, many 46, 47 years ago. And so I am certified on the self-defense side with a particular, belt ranking, et cetera. We can get, on the other side. But it's something that I do just about every day. And it's been something for me that has been an anchor in my life through many ups and downs.
Listen, I love that. Let everybody know where to find you at.
So on the web, I'm at warriorwellnessllc.org. warriorwellnessllc.org.
Yes.
If folks are specifically interested in the body training, the personal training, it's the body module.
Okay.
The mindfulness meditation training is via the mind module on the website. But I do a lot of work on Insta. I'm trying to grow it just like you taught me years ago. But if they go to the Zenful Guy, the Zenful Guy on Insta, they'll see posts on mind techniques and mindful tools they could use.
Okay.
They'll see videos of women in self-defense courses breaking wood with knees and elbows and things, learning how to defend themselves.
I love
they'll
that.
see the outdoor things. And they'll see personal training and encouragements to, get in the gym or go outside or just take a nice walk and take care of their bodies. It's the only one we got.
Man, listen, it's only right, man. The Zen guys in the building. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I hope y'all learned something from today. I want y'all to definitely tap in with them because he got a lot of amazing things going on. Ladies, fellas, this is only your time right now. Fellas, put your pride on the side. Ladies, get your self-defense on. We're gonna have a good time, man. This conversation with EJ the DJ. Matt Michelson is in the building, and definitely appreciate you for coming.
Oh, man.
No doubt.
Sir.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
You
Thank
know
you
what
so
it is.
much.
We just have to have a good conversation
right here, man. Right here.
Until next time, you know what it is. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Here we go.